Guys, welcome back to Beyond the Frontline podcast. This is episode 16, I believe, with former Paratrooper Nick Dunn. We'll let him introduce himself in a second. My name's Ryan Forrest. I'm a former commando. And let's get into this.
Yep, my name's James Williams, former Royal Marine as well, and also UKSF operator, SRR.
And I am Nick Dunn, former One Para SFSG, and more known for being one of the Chennai Six who was held in India.
Yeah, we'll definitely be speaking more on that.
And the SFSG bit as well. You know, our viewers love this, mate. Our viewers love this. I didn't realise you was former SFSG.
Yeah. I didn't actually.
Yeah, sweet.
So this is a military podcast, so to speak.
Yeah, no problem.
What I like to know is a little bit about the person behind the guy who joined the military, because normally there's always a story involved in that. You know, there's either an epiphany moment in Civvy Street that makes you go, I want to go do this off the cuff, or it's normally, you know, a lifelong thing from birth type thing. Like, I always wanted to be a bootneck. What's your story, Nick?
I wasn't good at maths and I didn't cut the height recommendation to join the Royal Marines, so I joined the Army next best thing to the special forces.
And also, can I just say, you're from up north, as you are, Ryan, as well.
Yeah, same. I was just about to say though, Nick, the core, as you can tell with me and James, does have a handsome 1 to 10 scale as well. So
Death rides on a winged base, and as far as that, Death is just an ugly bastard. So that's why they send the Paratroopers in.
So you're from Asherton, mate?
I am. Asherton, Northumberland, just outside Newcastle.
Do you all know where that is, Ryan? I won't have a fucking clue.
Yeah,
mate.
literally just, 20 minutes up the road.
I don't know much underneath Watford Gap, mate.
I'll be right difficult, something else.
Southern Fairies, Northern Monkeys.
Well, James's first language is actually French, isn't it?
I am actually, closer to France.
Why didn't you join the Foreign Legion?
Foreign Legion.
Too much of a pretty boy.
I still might.
Yeah, fair one. Yeah, that's could be on the cards.
Next time I'm on the run, I might join them.
Yeah, that's a podcast all in itself.
Yeah, it's a podcast on itself. Next time the old Bill after me, I might go join the Foreign Legion.
So Nick, what year was it you joined the Parachute Regiment? 2004. Really? Why did I think? Why? So
why did I think 1994, 1984?
No.
India aged me about fucking 20 years.
Listen, sorry. Can I just say for the viewers, this is like para bootneck banter.
Yeah, there's no animosity here, lads. This is just how it is.
I joined at the age of 18, and I was literally going to join on my 18th birthday at Catterick, but our paperwork course start date got pushed back a month, so I joined in April. I was literally going to join on March the 1st, which is my birthday, on my 18th, and I was like, no, fuck that. I remember being on the piss on my birthday, and my sister and all that, and I fell out the fire extinguisher, fire exit door, and I started having a piss, and then the busies turned up, and everyone came running down the front. And my sister was like, "Don't! He's joining the army next month." And I was like, "What?" I'm glad I didn't, but you last piss up before joining Catterick, and then I just got absolutely thrashed.
Did you know you were always going to join the Paras, or was that like an off the whim thing?
No, I wanted to originally join the Royal Marines. And I'm only a short arse, and at the time it had like a height restriction.
Did it really?
Yeah. I thought it only ever had a weight restriction. I thought it was only ever weight.
And you had to be good at maths. I was like, what's that? To count the fucking mags? Are you fucking...
I mean, thinking man soldier. The thinking man soldier.
But yeah, like, I thought, oh, it's all the way down there, and then I realised...
Oh, no, they got 4-5. You got 4-5.
Yeah, up in Scotland, I suppose. But no, I read something when I was doing a bit of, young digging, as you do,
Aye.
into magazines, and I just looked, and then in my local town we had the army recruitment.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
The
yeah.
Navy one. Yes, because you are Navy, remember, lads. That's what your ID card
Wait,
says.
do you know what Army stands for? Aren't Royal Marines yet?
I ain't heard that one.
I've
Mate,
never heard
in my whole, I know, in my whole time in the military, I've never heard that one. Never.
It's quite good. No, in my local town we had the recruitment for the army, and I would have to travel to Newcastle, and as a 17-year-old, that's when I went, and it was great. Putting my hand on the Bible and swearing an oath of allegiance to Queen and country in front of your parents.
Yeah.
They had to sign us off. That was a proud moment, because I was 17 and my mind what was set once I was like going through school. I wasn't really good at school. I rebelled because I wanted to grow up and I wanted to join the military.
Mm-hmm.
That was my pull. The being as a kid, playing armies, finding a stick, different size stick, different weapon. So I was always gearing up to go to the army. Just when I came to do my barb test for the army, I was quite left with very limited options because you don't need to be a brain surgeon to be a steely-eyed paratrooper. You just got to be a handsome bastard. So I thought I fit that bill, no problem. So he went, chef of a hat regiment. Parents, I went, I'll be there. And he was a fusilier and he was trying his best. I went, I don't like having a feather in me, Barry. No.
So he was a chef of the hat regiment. You can't talk about the Coldstreamers like that, mate, Nick. You can't talk about the guards like that, mate. I used to call them Coldstreamer guards instead of.
Cold streamers.
So that's really interesting, mate. I tell you, I've followed your story for a while. I didn't realize that you initially were exploring like options in the Marines, and I do remember now when I went to the careers office. I do remember not only jumping on the scale, but also getting my height measured at the time, and it was about a similar time after you actually when I went. I was 2004 when I first stepped foot into the careers office. Very similar time as James, to be fair. We all kind of originally joined at that similar time.
I was 2006. Yeah.
Like a friend of mine who I passed out with, he's obviously his final year.
Wow. Yeah, 20 years, 22, 21 years.
Started major, but it's because of the role he's in. He hasn't been made up. So hopefully, I don't know how it works out. Will he get a sergeant major's pension or colour sergeant or staff sergeant, whatever you call them in your regiment?
You know what? I don't even know, to be fair. Do you know that? Do you know, James?
Letting someone do a sergeant major's course, but not having a position for him to be a sergeant major.
Oh, actually, you know what? You have to be in that rank substantively for a period of time, didn't you? I think.
A few months, 6 months or something.
Something. I mean, you can apply for extensions, but pass. I mean,
he might, because he wants, if he's got a sergeant major, surely there'll be a promotion.
So you...
sorry, Ryan, I should imagine if you're a sergeant major in a paras, I mean, that's going to be hard to come away from, isn't it? I mean, you are part of the institution, aren't you? You're part of that. Yeah, there's
a lot of sergeant majors when I was in. A lot of respect.
Yeah,
and that comes from a lot of the blokes. Every company sergeant major, and after say I left, I still heard who had been made a sergeant major in different companies, and every single one of them just blokes loved.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Correct sergeant majors run companies, I think.
I mean, on the outside, in the CP world, I've come across quite a lot of paratroopers. And one thing I do find, firstly, obviously, I work with a lot of former paratroopers because I worked a lot with 22 SAS, and obviously they are mainly fed from the paratroopers.
Yeah.
And I can tell you now, the 22 guys I work with, I mean, they were mainly team leaders, staff sergeants, sergeants upwards, because of the roles. And I'm telling you now, they are. They may be chest poking, they may be rah rah rah, you know, that typical regimental mentality, but they are, because Royal Marines are very, very chilled. We're very chilled out, and we Ryan. You know, we're not.
That's
You know,
why a lot of blokes from SFSG, when going on ops with Royal Marines, were going to try and do SB selection.
because they like the chilled out. Yeah. Well, these two guys that I worked with, I've always said this. I've said this to you, Ryan. I say this a lot on my socials when I do my lives, etc. The two guys I work with, the most professional soldiers I've ever come across for kit admin, for SOPs. You know, it's a para thing. I think it's a para.
They're all over it. Yeah.
They're all over it. Yeah.
Well, I've got a story from Iraq. That was quite funny, like, but
go shoot, man, shoot.
we're on a job because when we were in Iraq, we worked with them. Can't obviously name too much with that because I'm still kind of, you know. But like one of them lost that pistol. One of our guys found it. He was getting created, uncreated. And I was one of the main drivers in Iraq, and the vehicle in front, because we were the lead SFSG vehicle. Because it was like three vehicles of that we had each, 3 or 4, and the rear Hereford vehicle was turned and it was that loud. And next minute the back door opens and smoke. And he's like, fuck. His flashbang and gone off and he's gone. But if that was us, right? If that was us, we'd have been fucking bounced all over. Absolutely. But with him, they're just like, fuck it. You know what I mean?
It's definitely personality types, and you see it through. You do see it as you go around the pizzazz and stuff. Again, a lot of my mates as well are paras, actually. You know, some of them older boys as well. Nick, you'll probably know a few of them, and the two very different personality types. And I often wondered when I was in the Corps, I don't know if it was because I went to like a southern unit. James, my first unit was 40 Commando, very much a southern unit, and it was my first unit. I was allowed, we're loud and proud, aren't we, up the northeast? And I was thinking, I did feel a little bit different in that regard. And when I talked to some of my mates in the paras, I often used to think, I think my personality type's like them. I don't know, I was loud, you know, loud and aggressive. And the Corps is very much a chilled environment, like, you know.
Yeah, it's brutal and chilled, isn't it? It's brutal and chilled at the same time.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So fucking brutal, full stop.
Yeah, brutal, full stop.
We demand excellence, similar to that. You know,
I personally think you guys just like shouting.
we're basically we're just like
giving shit.
But everything, like, every time you're like, this is fucking anal, this is fucking shit at times, you know, blah. But when you look back, you go, you know what, that was done for a reason, because train hard, fight easy. I can
see that. I can see that in the 2-2 guys.
It goes on every little bit thing. Block jobs, they're fucking anal, but if you can't do your block jobs properly, what are you going to be like cleaning your weapon? You know, you get into a firefight, you get a fucking stoppage, and it's because your fucking weapon's manky. And you're letting the team down, and people can, you know, die or you know, get injured, etc. But we do command a lot of excellence, and you know, everyone did. From my experience in my regiment and my battalion is, it's a mixture of you'll get on with some will fucking despise you, some will be like, but at the end of the day, it's just like every other job you come across in Civvy Street. You can't always get on with your work colleagues, but you've got to do your job. And when you're on off, the high professionalism kicks in. You might think that person's an absolute bell end, but you'd have his back.
Well, that's a military through and through, isn't it? That's the hardest thing of being out on Civvy Street, as it is for me personally. But you're used to an environment where the person next to you is going to drag you out of a contact. They're going to drag you out of it, shit bust. And now all of a sudden, you're in a very kind of two-faced, backstabbing environment. It's hard to manage. It's hard to deal with. Really hard to deal with.
I think a lot of squaddies find that difficult, don't they? The change over from being in such a trustworthy environment to now I've got to actually watch my back. Even from colleagues in some cases, you know.
Oh,
you work
mate,
with people.
well, mate, that's a whole podcast on itself, what the CP industry's like.
Oh,
It's horrific, mate.
so it's gash, isn't it?
Yeah, fucking right it is.
What was the hardest part of training for you then, Nick?
Being a short horse, tabbing.
Tabbing? Yeah.
Because
Tabbing is like
do paras climb
that.
ropes? You don't climb ropes, do you?
Well, abseil, mate. Come down the front.
I love it. Love it.
No, hey, James, this is what the... Yeah, so you know fog and tour for us, James, where you do the mountain stuff.
Yeah.
The paras do a similar thing, but they just fucking jump off.
That explains a lot. That explains a lot.
Forward a
Hang on a second. Well, a lot of head injuries.
No, like when we moved from a group, like I joined and I was in battalion about a couple of weeks while everyone was on pre-deployment training for Northern Ireland. So I did Northern Ireland straight away.
Okay.
And then halfway through Northern Ireland, the changeover for forming SFSG happened. So one of the companies went to Iraq to assist Hereford to SS. And then when we moved from Dover up to Lambert Major in St. Athens.
St. Athens, yeah.
We then started mimicking everything, so when the company, so each company would work with a certain company from SB and a certain company with Hereford, and you'd all be singing off the same song sheet. So when they're doing CT, you'd be doing CT. But I think, is it SB do it for a year though?
They rotate, don't they? I think, the CT role. Yeah, SFSG are doing a lot of that stuff now, mate. Like, they're doing loads of it.
I know it was just an exercise, but like you say, it is in black kit, fucking resi on.
Quality, innit?
Mate, fast roping onto a moving ship, and then do your attack, and then fuck off on ribs, mate.
Because that's something that like yous wouldn't really get exposed to that as a para, really, in a in a regular regiment, would you?
No,
it's just not your thing. But at SFSG, you got a lot of that crossover.
And you've got to train. You've got to, do. So if they're doing it, we should be doing it. If we're going to be part of it, because yes, a lot of people take the piss and say we just do cordons, but there was a lot of jobs that we did instead of them, so they can have a day off.
That's true, yeah.
You know, and like it's all right for people to just slag us off and call the cordon regiment and for the special forces, but like, yeah, okay, you do, but if it's not their guys doing it, it's someone else, and they're going to be doing high-profile targets. So you're going to get runners, and if we're there, we could be, taking down high-profile targets. So
I've found that it doesn't matter what regiment, what SF unit you're attached to, or anything. Everyone, especially on social media, is literally getting stick. I mean, I was looking at James's socials this morning. He's having to like kind of tell people. I'll let you explain that, James.
Well, mate, it's what do you mean the stick that anyone who's military who's on social media is taking for whatever they
it's
do?
like, well, if you're SFSG, or all you are is cordon. If you're SRR, well, you're not really SFIA. It's like, look,
you're a support group if you're SRR.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, I've never supported.
You do the majority of selection. Is that correct?
It depends. It depends.
You do the hills, don't you? In the jungle.
You used to do no, you don't do jungle. There's no need for us to go to the jungle. No need.
No?
Our selection is it used to be, but you did the hills. And then certainly the SEER package, because obviously we're going to be working behind enemy lines even more so. There's even and we're even more alone. And then you've got and then the rest of our course is all based around our skill sets, which are completely different to the other twos. Completely different. It's a whole different way of soldiering. Completely different. So there's no need for me to go to jungle. There's no need for me to. There's no need for me to do those.
2010, fuck me,
Yeah.
a long time ago. So, like, I still like know a few people, but whether that's still in or not, they're either transferred to do somewhere else because of that ranks.
SRR selection is it's a selection in its own right. Okay, I mean the word selection people usually associate with the hills, with the jungle, with SEER. SRR selection, it is a selection, just like any of the other, like Royal Marines is a selection, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just not the selection that people know of. SRR selection is a selection in its own right for a very specific character, a very specific set of skills, specific to the SRR's mission set. That's it.
Yeah, you need a high caliber of soldier to do your role.
You need very much a soldier who has an aptitude for. It's really hard for me to navigate this.
Yeah.
You need a soldier.
I am a power.
Well, do you know what? The SRR would be appreciative of that, I think, because they'll be like, disclosure's like, whew.
Thank you.
Not really saying much. It's not really saying much.
To be like I think, no matter, like, it was like what they were saying, whether they do that for already, but to be in, I heard that to join SFSG, you've got to do like a course or something, but you've got to be in 2 or 3 para for, I think, 2 years before you can apply for it.
Really?
You got to be in a rough ridge.
Rough Ridge actually get a draft at SFSG, don't they?
Yeah.
When I was in, they had a platoon.
Did they?
Rifle company, yeah.
The
Royal Marines had a company, but I heard they aren't part of SFSG anymore.
The Corps?
They've got that one.
No, they have like mixed, still got mixed, very much
God
embedded
knows.
still.
Yeah, they don't
God
have
knows
that
what the Corps does.
They've got that one rifle company, but they've got like a support mixed in with support company or something like that.
Really? I couldn't tell you, to be fair, Nick.
I heard something along the don't have a commute.
I mean, in regards to like,
I've been out a long time, you know what I mean? Fuck me.
In regards to like the formation of modern day SFSG, you were there to witness that taking place. So we're not talking we're talking like 20 years ago. Still really an infant in its infancy, isn't it? You know.
In Afghanistan with your lot. You ran all the fucking water off in Bastion before I transferred to
for showers.
You know what I'm about. Our sergeant major went, listen, you fucking twats. Right? We're on operation, yeah? Right? There's no need to have a fucking shower before fucking scoff. There's no need to have a shower after scoff. There's no need, right? We're going to be in the desert for fucking 3 weeks at a time. Where are you going to have a shower fucking then?
Oh, there's always a shower. You can always get Adobe.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Camelback.
Sorry, so can I ask, did you do Afghanistan as SFSG?
Yes.
How was that? I mean, did you must have seen it.
It was an eye opener.
Very kinetic, a lot of action. Well,
the role that we were in with the Royal Marines and obviously B Company of Valor it wasn't a heart and minds operation. It was going out and being that fucking naughty hornet and going to fucking kill bees, basically.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And
you was out looking for a tear up, weren't you? You was out looking for a fight.
Yeah, we're looking to get as much information. I got pictures and your guys collaring some guy, big bags of fucking heroin, and they were like, "We're taking this off you," and he's like, "Oh, that's our livelihood. Give us information then."
Mm.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't get them bags of heroin back till we confirmed this information was true. So it's mental. So you're like, help me, help you, but in one respect, you're like, fucking, but every compound we kind of went to was always a compound where there was the enemy.
You're gonna you're gonna have a smash up basically every time.
And on one particular, I'm not too sure where we might have been in Musikala, or I'm not too sure. I can't remember that far back now, but fuck me. A lot of our vehicles were hitting IEDs.
Yeah, see, you guys are going around. I mean, I didn't go around with you guys, but I would assume that you guys are going around with quite a heavy footprint. You know, your Wimics, 50 cows on top.
I was in a Wimmick when I got blown up.
Yeah, yeah. You're going around with a big footprint, a big sign saying, "Here I am, here I am." We're coming. Whereas,
mate, I fucking shit. When we left camp because I was in Bastion for a bit, and then I moved to where B Company was. So Bastion lot would move to our camp and would obviously touch base, and there would be fucking loads of it. There was no mini secret party. We're gonna come sneaking in. We're literally ready to said, if you didn't see us coming, fuck me, you fucking shit.
So you're ruining people's days then, basically, Nick.
Yeah, that was that was what the job was all about. Just go on and just smash shit up.
So like
disrupt.
Coming from the core, like, you know, that and from the parachute regiment yourself, like to get them kind of tours early on with SFSG.
Yeah,
that's as good as it gets, isn't it? In terms of doing what you actually sign up to do.
That's what you join for.
Because you can't go straight to Hereford or Poole, can you? But you're you're knocking on the door, though, aren't you? With SFSG, getting to work alongside, and it doesn't get as good as that from a lad straight out the box.
At the end of the day, like if you're in a different regiment and you're joining special forces, you're very cut above the rest. Even contemplate that. But when you're in SFSG, you've got a foot in the door because you're doing everything that they're doing, and sometimes a few guys have done better and have been praised. Even when I was in the Hereford lot, were praising our guys and how good we were training and how good we were picking things up. And some of their guys got really pissed off. Because, well, fucking, fuck me, they can try to do our job, yeah? Because the paras, if they can do it, we can do it. And we'll try and do it better. Simple as that. And that is our ethos. Simple as that. You know, and you do the same. You know, why settle for second best? You know what I mean?
Well, this is why
they were special forces. Not one of us will ever see special forces. If you want to be special forces, go and do selection.
This is why a lot of people on my socials ask me, what's the best route to SF, SRR, SAS, SBS? I always say, if you're not in the military, the best route to get there, I mean, believe me, it's a long, arduous road and it's not guaranteed. But the best route to get there is to first become either a para or a marine, because you are then carved from that granite that actually makes the basis of one of those soldiers from one of those regiments.
Yeah. Well, it's absolutely totally correct. You know, even nowadays, the paras still have the biggest, success out of all the rest of the British Army, infantry and other non-infantry regiments going to, join special forces. It's easier for your lot to join SB. You're practically all down in Poole and all that, but it's still not easy because selection's still the same, but the Poole then go off and do your flippers and armbands fucking malarkey. You know what I mean?
Do you know what?
But
Their swimming part, I don't know it in and out, but have you heard of it, Ryan? It's their
It kills people.
their swimming continuation training. I mean, some of the tests I've heard there, that is
I've heard
that is
ruthless.
it's
If you were to write a poem
you're-
on how to murder a military man in water, that's what it would come out as.
I remember
it's
going,
like
going
water
to Iraq.
ninja.
I remember going to do 2 British Army military swim tests. One where you fucking, and then next we had Bergen. I was one of the main drivers going to Iraq. I failed my fucking swimming test. I went, listen, I'm a fucking driver. I'm a paratrooper. I'm going to Baghdad, mate. Fuck am I going to be going anywhere near the Tigris River? Fuck off. They went, but you need to pass it. I was like, just fucking tick the box, man. Fuck's sake, man. I was like, I can't fucking swim. I can't. That's why I joined the paras. To fucking stay away from all the fucking water shit.
Awesome, man.
Oh,
Is that mine gone off? Has mine gone off?
I think we've lost his
Oh,
spin. Oh, there we go.
Do you know
Finn-
what?
I think the camera's doing facial recognition and not realising you're a good looking bro.
Bootneck essence, isn't it? It's a requirement, Ryan. It's a requirement.
It is, yeah.
The band, I think the band of the Royal Marines in Paras, right? It's second to none. It's friendly, and any Para Rage or Royal Marine that takes it that little bit further, that's their personality. They're pricks, right? We're as good as each other, just we're a bit better. But when it's us and other hat regiments, they know where to step.
Mate, I had a para on my SEER patrol, and I couldn't wait to get rid of him. I was like, once he got captured, it was me left with this bootneck, and we covered some ground when we dropped that dead weight.
I tell you what, there's one thing I would love to do. Even to this day, escape and evasion. I'd love to do Hereford's escape and evasion.
It's a kick in the nuts, mate. It's a kick in the nuts. It's a sucker punch. It's a sucker punch to the back of the head. You think it's a duty attend, and when you get on it, you're like, right, how come I didn't know about this? This is not duty. You got to get captured. The trick is not to get captured in between that. All right, that's the trick.
Yeah, but obviously they set you up to get captured because you've got to carry on. Because if you took them like that, mate, where the fuck's this prick? I've told them to meet us at this fucking corner shop in the fucker's not. It is probably doing an OP going, I see you fucking prick. I'm not falling for that. But yeah, years ago, I don't know if and I'm talking back in the 90s, and that they used to get I'm sure they used to get the Paras to help escape an invasion to fucking start filling in the.
You've been
on the Hunter Force and stuff. Yeah,
you'll be the best regiment for that, for just the indiscriminate,
nonsensical violence.
Yeah.
Why have you got no teeth? I don't know. You ran into a tree, branch to the head.
So, Nick, do you have any standout key moments from Afghanistan? Anything that's... Tell us about that.
Yeah.
Like, but the fact, like, obviously, like, I've never witnessed, like, mortars go off, and we're all, like, just in the desert, and, you know, you've got the guys on Overwatch and stuff, and the sergeant major's going around the whole fucking lot of work, because there's always one fucker that's going to just... It's like he's got some force shield around him. Nothing can fucking happen to him. It's like, right, lads, bruise on, get your fucking blah blah this. And fuckers are taking their body arm off, walking around half naked and all that. And I'm thinking,
is this for bootnecks? Is this a bootnecks?
No, all off.
Oh, fuck it.
I think your lot was scared to take that fucking body armor off at one point. Then we're going to be here a while, lads.
And James, by
As
body armor,
long as you've got your weapon, your body armor can be on your vehicle.
Listen, it's only because you said they're getting naked. I thought you meant bootlegs.
and by body armor, what Nick's referring to is our green beret, James. Yeah, that's what he means.
Yeah. but we came under mortar, and there were shit fucking shots. But like when you just hear it and you're like,
but the thing is, Nick, if you hear a mortar, that's a good sign. It's the mortars you don't hear, that's the bad sign.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when you just experience that, I've only been to Northern Ireland, and the worst I got in Northern Ireland was some fucking paddy calling us a little fucking dwarf. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, the fucking dwarf arrows coming, you little bastard.
So from that to getting mortared, first experience, like wow.
And then on one particular job, as I mentioned earlier, we were all getting and a lot of the blokes were cutting around in Toyota Hiluxes, and good job the one proper IEDs, because fuck me, they would have probably nearly shit canned the fucking exercise. They shit canned
the tour
because we'd had no fucking vehicles and blokes would be fucking, but they were just like pressure plate mines, because if you think about it, like when doing foot patrol, a pressure plate blow someone's fucking leg off or whatnot.
Aye.
There's 4 blokes under the act. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kazivac and that's the tactic they learned. Because they knew they wouldn't get close to trying directly killing you, because they were fucking shit shots. But that's why I used to spray and hope for the best. And that's when they turned to fucking
IEDs.
IEDs. And loads of vehicles were just getting blown up. Fucking one of the quads hit it, but it delayed and then blew the fucking trailer, and the trailer went all over. And we got dicked by a bloke and a small boy. And we went to go and fucking, because they were there, but they keep like moving because over the brow of the hill, and we went. They're doing that. They've done it more than once, twice.
Can I ask Nick? Sorry, can I ask Nick? What was you working to Card Alpha or 429 Alpha? I don't know if you remember those. You remember 429 Alpha, which was almost it was anything, not anything goes. I don't want to say anything goes, but it was a lot more free than Card Alpha. Card Alpha was an immediate threat to life, and obviously with Dickers, 429 Alpha, I mean, I don't know, it's a touchy one, that, Ryan, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
We knew there was a neighbouring little town, like compound. So we did assume they were just part of that and just being a bit inquisitive. But
yeah, it's hard.
We had to basically just go, right, we don't know what they could be luring with. So we made sure and I was top gunner on the Jimby, stand on fucking extra. That had nail some things because I'm too fucking short. So I had at the bottom of the Wimmick, I had a little platform made for us, and the Remy made the turret fucking smaller for us. I was like, I'm making fuck me.
Hey, like that Dennis Waterman, write the theme tune, sing the theme tune with a GPMG.
Everyone cheered the first because they were like,
little Dennis Waterman with GPMG.
I couldn't get a fuck out of this fucking book. If I had the opportunity, I would have just closed the fuck down, no problem. But it was shortly because we went to inquire what these fuckers were up to, and they were gone like that.
Wow.
So what we're doing is we followed our sand trail all the way back as you would, and as we were just coming to go to where we were parked. Fucking shit, you not just boom like that.
Sorry, what are you in? Are you in a Wimmick?
I'm in a Wimmick.
Right, okay. So your front
on top cover. Jesus.
Top cover.
It was a 105 shell, just went straight up the engine block. Yeah. And there was me, the commander, and the driver in the vehicle. we just thought, well, it was only us in that vehicle anyway. And
did it make the vehicle US? Was
that was
was
it.
it done?
Fucking
It was
gone.
done.
Straight up the engine block, US, fucking gone.
How have you survived that, man?
Man, fuck knows. No one
do you
got
know what?
injured, mate. No one got injured.
Yous
and
have
I
all
kid
been
you not.
extremely lucky there. Like.
You know what a soft skin body armoured up Wimmick looks like. You just think, what the fuck is this, mate? What's that going to stop? But it saved our lives.
Really?
I've been in a Viking hit by a mine, and I've been in a Mastiff hit by a mine. In the Viking, the blast went outwards. It just threw a lot of dust everywhere. Literally, the whole of the inside of the Vikings filled up with dust.
Like that, aren't they? So when it blows,
Yeah,
it goes like
yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, the guy, we had a top cover on there. I mean, his helmet flew off. That was about the worst of it. But the Viking filled up with dust. It was a case of check legs, check arms. Yeah, I'm all in one piece.
Fell down and
when
I was being like fuck.
Yeah.
And all I could hear was, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" I was like,
Yeah.
What?
Tell you what.
Nuts if they're there, you're all right. I'm like, I'm all right. And then, as I've said this, because people want to know, like, who are non-military, what it's like to be in an explosion, because they just see the movies and blowing fucking shit up, and we're like, great, can't do that, but it could do damage. But like, for a mine to do that, people would just think it just totally whipped. Yes, an anti-tank mine or a bigger mine, but this was a 105 pressure plate mine designed to maim, kill fucking foot soldiers. And the slow motion, that is fucking real. Where everything blows down. So we were getting out of the vehicle, and the guys are coming with their metal detectors and saying, "Don't move." And I'm like, fucking shaking on the fucking Wimmick. And I was fucking shit myself. And then they did the checks around the Wimmick, and then just to the right, a big signature. So if we had come a little bit short, that could have been us all fucking brown bread.
Yeah, you know, they
marked it up and said anti-tank mine fucking, because the Russians just fucking leveled the place
left every.
I was then in a Mastiff hit by a mine. That was like someone threw a Coke can at the Mastiff. Honestly, the Mastiff just kept going.
Was that fucking good?
I'm telling you now, it went off under the wheel. It literally, I don't know if it was a shit IED, if it didn't go out, if it went over it partially, most of the blast went out. Literally, it sounded like someone chucking a Coke can at your car. It was
cheers type thing.
Cheers. And then when I was on Herrick 7, there was a shaped charge that went through one of the Vikings. Now they are horrific. That there. Well, that one there took out one of the lads completely and left. You imagine in the Viking, you had section commander in the front, driver. You had a guy behind him, and you had the radio kit. It went through the section commander, driver next to him, completely untouched. Guy behind, completely untouched. Completely untouched.
That is what Divvy's. Well, you know, even some military people who not being on the front line, when you explain certain stuff, and they're just like one of the lads was telling me when he was back in camp, when he was in Afghanistan on one of the jobs with SB. The were all lined up on the Chinook ready, and then they came under fire. And when they had to fucking go away to come, you know, let the Apaches start assault before they could come back, because it was a hot DZ, but they want to try and get the enemy fire down to a minimum to get the blokes off and conduct the operation. When they apparently sat back down on this Chinook, I think he says about 4 or 5 would have been probably fucking gone. So if they hadn't got up, getting ready to bomb burst off the back, and they would have been fucking smashed. And sometimes you need a bit of luck, and that's that's how it is.
I've said this before, Ryan, haven't I? I mean, Afghanistan created a breed of soldier that hadn't been seen in the British military since World War II. 80 years. You've got a lot of battle hardened, you know, tough, very, very
I
competent
think
soldiers.
People went
Think-
as
yeah.
boys, came back as men.
I think it's like imagine if hypothetically the Falklands went on for like 5 years,
Yeah,
it would have been like a similar thing. It was like obviously it was a long drawn out thing where you could reinvent PAMs effectively of how you operated, and that literally did take place in Afghanistan, especially like when you guys were out there in the early days as well. Things were done very different then, you know.
I remember we were cutting around in fucking baseball caps, and we were
That's what I mean, yeah.
we were the first to get the MVs. People, you say MV, people go, "What's an MV?" I went, "It's a jackal, but you had to put your body armor, the body armor on it. It didn't come with fitted body kit. You had to fucking put it on." We were
Well, the
cutting around-
original like
we were cutting around in them, right, in different cam and baseball caps. I remember we were walking around Bastion, fucking everyone, all eyes thinking, "Who's these fucking superheroes?" And they all hair everywhere, fucking beards and But that's how we were, taught to be on operations. It's not a fucking fashion parade, and then the camp sergeant major was fucking gobbing off. "Who the fuck are you cutting around with baseball caps on my fucking..."
Yeah.
And our boss, it's probably the first ever time I've seen a boss stick up for his stick up to his men in front of the camp sergeant major. Also, he went, "Sergeant Major, these are my men. We're on high valued operations, and we've come here for fuel and provisions." That's deadly fuck off. Or words to that effect. And he just went about turn fucked off, and I thought, you know what, that's great. Because normally just fucking power on and they go, Sergeant Major.
Mate, I was getting pulled in Bastion when I was in the SRR, cutting back through there to come back to the UK on R&R for my long hair.
Really?
I was like genuinely like, I really need it. I really need it.
Well,
my hair was down here.
You were getting pulled though for it. That's outrageous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Blokes were coming back with fucking long hair. I was talking to one of the blokes, man, in camp.
I needed it. I needed it.
Kabul and all that. And I didn't even know who the fuck I was talking to, so I didn't recognise him. Went, "You don't know it's me, Dunny, don't you?" I was like, "Oh, who the fuck am I talking to?" He goes, "Me, man, you fucking belly." I was like, "Fucking hell."
He's been having picnics in Jalalabad.
That's when you know the tough is going fucking hard out there, when they've got to practically forget they're a British personnel and act like a fucking local. You know what I mean?
Wait, that's what James got issued his hair, didn't you? You had to get hair and beard out of stores.
Fucking hair, would you not?
Mate, hang on a second, man. I got a good, not quite like yours.
Can I have some hair, please?
Hey, I can grow full. I'm a volunteer baldy.
Are you a volunteer baldy?
I'm a volunteer.
I live. They might have come with, them, there's Scottish fucking hats.
Well, yeah, you needn't talk. Your hairline's thinning out of the reorg, mate.
Oh, yeah. I know. Fucking, it's so we can fucking headbutt fucking.
Love it.
No,
so you came out in 2010, yeah?
Yes. So Iraq was me last op.
So on that one, you actually, you had a very, very kind of busy time in the military from start to finish. It was flat out, yeah.
Yeah, like I say, a lot of people that I was in battalion with, like, after like Iraq, everyone was getting the ick. Oh, do I sign off? Do I go to Iraq? Because Iraq was just fucking like that.
Yeah.
DP jobs and.
Okay, yeah.
There was a lot of money to be made around that time, wasn't there, Nick? Especially if you've got a bit of experience.
Yeah. And then
pay your house off in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then.
Well, up north you'll buy a street in a couple of years.
Get a castle up here.
Buy a fucking street. I'll buy a garage down here.
When I was in, like, a lot of people were starting to leave and sign off, and then it comes time for me to leave as well. And one of the blokes got in touch with us, and he was like, "Mate, you got your CP?" I went, "Mate, I've got my CP. I've just done all my courses, getting ticks in the boxes, doing that." It's like, You know, when you leave the army, that's why so many going into private security, because we can't adapt to civilian life.
Yeah.
We don't get. I don't know if they do it now. They probably fucking don't, and they should do it. But when you join the army or any military, say 16, 17, 18, a young man, and you still got fucking that attitude still, and you're, excuse me, and you're there for 10 plus years. That's all you know. You come out in Civil Street like fucking alien. You're like that. Whoa. It was for me, and that was just 6 years. No, because I joined at the age of 18. I was a boy. Go to Afghanistan, come back a man. And I leave at the age of 24. Young man, but fuck me. I come back and I see people my age, and their fucking heads are still up their own arse. And I'm like, wow, fuck now.
That's the thing. You've been like, I mean, your time is very different to mine. You had a very busy 5-6 years in comparison. So I'm not speaking from that same level of experience, but you're basically highly experienced at war, at being a soldier, at being a paratrooper, and then what do you do when you come out? Because let's be honest, unless you do something like private security, that skill set just doesn't really wash off anywhere else. Yes, the ethos and stuff does, and it can, but that's not the first thing you go towards, is it? Well, I need to have a bit of this determination and professionalism to get into. Lads just want to do what they know, and it's what do you do at 24? You think, right, I've just been on 2 or 3 operational tours. That's what I'm good at. Now, what can I be good at?
I tried doing a few little security jobs, and I couldn't keep them, hold them down, and because I was like, the environment, like I was just like, this is fucking shit, man. What the fuck? And then my mate.
Right, can I ask?
Yeah.
Was it always that panicky feeling of holding a job down? Fuck, how this could be taken away from me at any moment because of the way I am.
Yes, and how we speak.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
fucking
It's
bad.
horrible.
You
It's
can't be that
horrible.
timid, can you? You're right, Dave, you fucking fat fucking fuck. Right, fucking fat lady. You've heard my feelings. I'm gonna tell you off. And then next minute, why did you call him a fat bastard? You've hurt his feelings. I'm like, are you taking the fucking piss, mate? Right? So I was like, I need to get out of this fucking country here. So I made sure I covered everything on the CP front, and then my mate went. He rang us up not long after I buried me grandma, and that gave us even more of an incentive to get out the fucking country as well. He went, have you ever heard of pirates? I was like, what, Captain Jack fucking Sparrow? He went, no, man, you fucking bellend. African fucking Somali pirates. I went, oh, I thought that was just bullshit. I didn't realise that was a legit thing. He goes, well, it's not really big yet, but you know, he's obviously getting in with it. He says, right, get on this course ASAP because jobs are going to start going fucking like that. And the money.
So you jumped on the maritime in the beginning, in the early infancy.
I joined in
The golden era.
maritime.
Oh, mate, that was some good money then, wasn't it?
Oh,
I mean,
man,
yeah.
fucking piss. They were like, do 3 hours twice in a shift, a day 3 hours and a night 3 hours, or like 250 a day, 300 depending what company you work for. And you know, I guess just you're on the bridge and you know, half the time you're looking out going,
Now happening.
the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah.
And then
the fucking Gulf of
as much
Aden.
as it was shit and mundane, you were like, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to the whorehouse. I'm going fucking this. Because you just were like, I've just earned the most easiest money in my entire life. Like, me TL went, we did me invoice, my first ever invoice, and he went, that's how much you've earned for about a week. I went, fucking hell, do I suck you up or what? Fucking hell. I was like, Jesus, I bet you never earned that fucking much in a short space of time. I went, no. But I was like, fuck me. And I thought, right, let's crack on. And then because you know, a lot of companies weren't, like, a lot of the companies were ex-Royal Marines.
That's
So,
right, yeah.
So they didn't want to be upstaged, so they didn't really take a lot of paragon.
Well,
Your
what was
ex-boss,
it? Yeah,
Captain Rogers, set up.
yeah, Orlando Rogers, the troop commander on Command on the Front Line. I mean, to my knowledge, he left the military and he set up his own company, and he made it. I don't know what company it was.
Was it Colossus or something like that?
I don't know. All I know is that he when I say he made it, he was set for life. Set for life.
Well, I like worked for various fuel companies doing fair few transits, and like some of the companies were like, fucking hell, like, you know what I mean? But you were like, let's just turn a blind eye to this because I'm fucking raking this fucking money in. You know what I mean? Like, there was one job, I can't remember what company fucking it was now, but we had fucking Chinese AKs, but we didn't have the not the fucking paperwork. You know how to chop them up in the fucking sea. I was like, fuck me. It was right fucking dodgy as fuck. And that is the only thing I would say. Like, when people fucking know about my story and its main story is illegal weapons, I rest assured these are legitimate because the fucking British government fucking issued them. But on that particular maritime job, I was thinking, fucking hell. And we had to take pictures. To make sure, so the company knew they were fucking getting disposed of.
Sorry, I mean, for the viewers, can we go? Can we tell this story? This one here. I mean, this is a big part of your story, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is everything.
Yeah.
This, isn't it, Nick?
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's like, you know, you're doing maritime. You never get told of the dangers of neighbouring countries or allied countries of the country you're from. You always get told by your SOPs or this.
Yeah.
If you come on,
You haven't got the top cover of that military top cover that you were so used to, where
No,
you know, yeah. You're out there on your own. You're out there on your own.
If there's Navy ships, regardless of what Navy they were on the joint anti-piracy operations, they were. It wasn't India because they got booted off because they were just not PID-ing fishermen. So they were not PID-ing the Somalis properly, and they were just killing fucking fishermen, so they got fucked off. So India were a bit pissed off with that. They were also pissed off that 2 Italian Marines working for Italy, doing maritime, had unfortunately killed 2 fishermen off the coast of Kerala in January 2012. So India were a bit pissed off they couldn't convict them. Then they were saying they want the high risk area brought shore because they can look after the Indian Ocean. Well, you did a good job when Mumbai fucking attacks happened, didn't you? So you need that high risk area to go to a certain level east. But that's India for the thing that can do it all, but they fucking can't. And like we were just doing our maritime job. We got told on one particular transit coming from the old man to Sri Lanka, you're gonna get off. You're gonna jump on our company vessel, which was just an old naval vessel from South Korea, all done up in just repainted basically. And we boarded that, so it would save money on pilot boat to come out to retrieve it to put, because at the time Sri Lanka were upping the prices on storage, so the company invested in 3 ships to save. So they're like floating armories / fucking accommodation. So we jumped on one of these vessels. It got to the point where we needed fuel provisions. This was around 11th of October 2013. The vessel came bobbing around on the fucking ocean. It was quite choppy. Little did we find out there was a cyclone heading our way. And, you know, I think under the Maritime Act, don't quote me, it's been a long time, but you can seek shelter from one of those kind of incidents in a neighbouring country. That neighbouring country was India, where we procured the provisions from. So I went to bed. I said to the TDO, the Tactical Deployment Officer, for those who don't know, who's in charge of all the security guards. So on our vessel at this time, there was 35 men. So there was 12 Indians, there was 3 Ukrainians, 14 Estonians, and 6 British. 4 of the 6 being paratroopers. We get around. And then next morning, fucking boom, 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 boom. Get up, get up, get up. We're being boarded at gunpoint. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, boarded at gunpoint. Fucking, we all got dressed. We're like, what the fuck's going on? See the patrol boat going round, fucking gunpoint. Its guns never left me. Even though it was circling me, it was still. That one of their guys didn't even fucking mutter a word. He says, port now. And we were kept in the dark. We're like, what the fuck's going on? And I said, where were we when they boarded? And how far to Tuticorin port are we? And it would have taken, say, 10 knots, about an hour and a half. We were going 2 knots. It was painstaking, so through. And we're like, this isn't fucking right. This isn't right. And then we got closer to the port, and fuck me, it was a welcome committee. And I was like that with the other guys, this doesn't look right. But then something else goes on your mind, and then you dock, and then it became a fucking shit show. Absolute fucking fuck about, and you're like, what? But we were kept out of the way. For the 6 days we were in port, we were kept in the dark, because we didn't need to be called upon unless the police wanted. So we had to set up a security, because they were capsized with. That's how fucking stupid they are. They literally were all bombarding the vessel, and we're like, who the fuck are you? We'll need some identification. That rubbed them up the wrong way. But under the Maritime Act and on boarding vessels, we have that fucking right.
Mm-hmm.
You know
so you were acting according to what you're allowed to do.
And it pissed them off. And then when things started to be a bit more civilized, so to speak, we were told to get out of the way, surrender your passport and discharge books to get to, so they knew who was on this vessel, except Y and Z. We went, right, the TDO and a couple of helpers were to show the weapons and count every ammunition. And this went on for up to about 4 days. Different organisations coming and going. Far as Mumbai. You're trying to tell us they got there in a blink of an eye, did they?
Mm.
But they were like, nothing to be had here. Paperwork. So the local boys, Q branch, were feeling a bit, fuck it. We've found the weapons. Yeah, we've found the weapons. After all the other organisations had fucked off, they were not going to be looking like a bunch of fucking pricks, so they just fabricated shit. We found the weapons. No certificates don't exist. This is what they did say. The certificates only for British Island. No.
So they're saying they weren't valid and legal for the area in which you were operating. That's what they're trying.
Yes.
And so, I mean, we'll get onto this anyway. But that was what you're saying is, well, evidently because you got out eventually, we'll get onto that, was fabricated. Is that what you would...
Yeah, everything was very fucking fabricated.
Did you know this at the time?
No.
Sorry, James.
That's all right. Yeah. Can I ask?
Yes.
When you're arrested by them? Right way to describe it.
We just got told go to port for investigation.
But you got told to go to port under their custody.
Yes.
So like detained almost.
So can I? Yeah, you're detained. Yeah, detained. So can I ask? Are you then separated? You're all separated, and
No,
Okay, so you all
not at
kept
that
together.
time.
Right. I'm just trying to imagine it in almost like a Sear
So
situation. Do
during
you know what I
them
mean?
days, it was
Yeah.
just not much sleep, just constantly all fucking day.
Yep.
We're like, look, we didn't get our fuel and provisions. We were running out of food and water. We weren't allowed to leave the ship. We weren't allowed to leave
Ah, right.
the
Okay.
port. Every port has got a mission to seafarers, place where seafarers go to. We couldn't even go there.
Did this, at this point, because I remember this going on in the news, did this reach British media at this point?
After a few days, when our families told, because it cropped up in the Estonian families first on what the Indian media was saying about her. And they was, fuck me. I had my dad on the phone. He went, right, Nick. Because you don't really explain to your family, do you? You just go, I'm
What you
going away
doing?
doing security abroad.
Mm.
My family's seeing these online articles, you know what I mean? And they're reading them and they're thinking their son's a fucking gun runner or a terrorist.
Mm.
I'm like, what? Dad, what? Told me this? So he said this, and I was like, Dad, what the fuck is going on here? We're doing a Mumbai-style attack on the nuclear power plant in Tamil Nadu. I was like, a bunch of
Wow.
fucking white guys. 23 white guys and 12 Indians are going to fucking start attacking India. Are you fucking stupid, you fucking dafties?
But do you know what? A bunch of paras. If it was a bunch of Marines, they probably would have been. You know, maybe they could pull this off. But
Probably.
but
Aye,
a bunch of paras. A bunch of paras.
We would have taken the whole fucking state. Never mind the power plant. And then next minute we're selling weapons to fishermen. I was like, what? You know, so my family are reading this, and they say, right, I want to know the truth now, Nick. I went, no, Dad, I'm a protector.
Mm-hmm.
I go on ships to protect crew and cargo, nothing more. We have to use weapons if need be, because they've got fucking weapons, and they use them to try and hijack vessels. My dad went, right, okay, no problem. We were in contact with the company, the TDO, obviously he's in charge of the security. Captain just hid in his fucking cabin. Fuck the police officer, went, I fuck off. Straight. You know, would that have made a difference? Knowing that what I know now, no. But at the time, a lot of guys were saying, if he had spoke to the police, it might have been a different outcome.
Because the captain has a lot more authority than the guys on the ground, isn't it, to be able to square this away.
But no, he hid in
So
his
someone
cabin.
wasn't playing game at the very beginning, which escalated this, possibly certainly behind the lads'
Fucking, I've got video evidence of the guys in front of the police checking the weapons, our agent laughing and joking with the police. I was just saying, you fucking slimy bastard. I hope I never see you again. But because so much is going on, you can't just think of one thing. Because you know this is one of the bad things in private security. Oh, your passport's a bit frayed. And then you go, right, how do we resolve this issue? $4,000? Oh, yes. We'll chuck another two just for good measure. Bribery in that part of the world is like second nature, but you can't.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll offer you this. Because then the twist and go, trying to bribe it. So you are guilty of something.
Yeah. So
You know,
you're damned if you
private
do.
security knows the rules. You've got to put words into their head to let them open the negotiations up. Because the captain hid in his cabin, that was beyond fucking even thinking of. The shit was rolling downhill. 4 days in the port, they fucking get rid of the weapons. And then day 5, 6, and I've literally got another video of Madame Q branch, the woman in charge of the investigation, the woman that destroyed mine and my colleagues' lives for 4 years. Literally says, you're going to hospital, we're removing you off the ship. And at the time of the morning, it would have been about 3:30 UK time. My sister is dealing with the embassy, just as our other fan. We're in contact via email. As far as we're aware, the embassy didn't get access to the port, which I think that's fucking illegal. You know, they're not allowed to not see us, but we didn't see all of them. We didn't see any fucking embassy till we were, unfortunately, flung in our first prison. But we I had to make the phone calls. We knew where we were going, but they said hospital. What hospital doesn't let you take people's reading glasses, belts, wallets, phones? We're educated people. We're not stupid. And Paul the T. Joe went, right, lads, get all your stuff. We're going to put all your valuables together, because we've got a feeling they might go rummaging through your bag. So we hid them in one of a safe place in the ship. And we got them back a year and a half later. And I had to make a phone call. I knew I couldn't ring my dad because he would be fucking in the land of Nod. I'm a mummy's boy, so I originally went to ring my mum. And it's the last time I get to hear her voice. Even though it was a bit groggy because obviously the time difference. And it's something that I have to live with for the trauma. I've got no memories of my mum, a voice. I don't know what it sounds like. I've got nothing because she had a double aneurysm and it's really impaired our speech. It sounds gobbledygook and it really, really hurts when she tries to speak. And then I said, Mum, I love you. This is what's happening. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I love you. I don't know when I'll next see you, but take care. And then my sister immediately rang, because I kind of rang her initially, but she didn't answer. And at least I get the fucking embassy now. We're getting lifted. She went, what? I went, get the fucking embassy now. I love you. I'll see you later. Ta-ra. That was us. Away to prison. Right,
Sorry, well, sorry. So now you're going to an Indian prison on the Indian mainland,
we're
an
getting
Indian mainland.
We're getting lifted from the ship, and
Yep.
we're 2 bus coaches, 2 armed police per one of us, and you've got their media hanging out their fucking.
I was about to say the media will have gone crazy at this point,
mate,
right?
Mate, they made it bigger than Ben-Hur. Their media think we are fucking terrorists.
I remember this, I was in I just started, I think I just got to 40 Commando when this was kicking off. I remember it on the news. Think, what the bloody hell's going on here?
They're top admiral.
It was national news in Britain wanted as well,
Yeah.
when it kicked off.
Do you know what this is? Yeah. This is the hardest thing, isn't it? Coming out of the military, if that happened in the military, the cover you've got, and now you're in now you're in a world where you're out on your own. You're on your own arse. You are out on your own.
And we literally were on our arse because the company dropped were right in my fucking arse. And if I was to ever see the fucking owners, I would fucking torture the fucking life out of them. If I ever saw Madame Q branch, I'll torture her family in front of her, for that's the pain she caused my family. And I mean that. I absolutely mean that. I met that woman face to face. I gave her pictures of my man with tubes. I gave her 2 letters stating Indian law that you are doing illegal activities and we shouldn't be here. And she looked at me and went, let the courts decide. I went, well, fucking turn up then, you fucking twat. And I just stormed off. I was like, this woman's fucking just good not playing ball. That's women for you. They just love fucking wrecking men's lives.
So you were hung out. So in your kind of opinion, hung out to dry type thing. You're going through a holding prison almost, like a custody detention type.
Initially, we went to a prison it was built under British rule. And I tell you what, when we turned up at it like 11:30 at night, and we looked at it, and it was like Sonic, like it was built in the 1800s. And when they realised there were 6 British there, and we're in a state which is anti-British, may as well like doing fucking cartwheels. We're like, fuck me, we're in hell here. Oh.
So it was literally the lion's den for you.
Yeah. We're all together, all 35, and we're put in this outhouse kind of building. And there was a hole in the floor, like a trough full of water. And we're given fucking boiled potatoes, which were still hard inside, and because I hadn't ate all day. The prison, the police gave us bottles of water. Didn't feed with nothing. It was fucking horrendous. And like you're dehydrated, you've got a headache. You're trying not to think of your family because it's your weakness. You've got to keep strong mentally. You've got to fucking think this.
Can I just say?
No return now.
Can I just go back to one of your comments earlier where you said that you wanted to do SEER? Mate, you've done SEER.
Yeah. Yeah, mate, he's done SEER, hasn't he?
You've done SEER and some, mate.
Oh, like, honestly, like, even to this day, it's not digested. Yeah. And it's gone, I came home in December 2017, you know what I mean? And that's why I'm fucked up a little bit, because it's so hard to digest and get used to it. And people say to us, Nick, do you honestly realise what the fuck you've just gone through? And I'm like, yes, no.
The unique circumstance.
And then I go into like a little boy again, because every little boy will misses their man.
Of course, mate.
You know what I mean? And you've got to just put that there in the now. Keep strong. You're representing your company. You're an innocent man. You've done nothing wrong. You're now world fucking news. You are public enemy number 1. And that's how we were treated. Public enemy number 1. We were fucking like, oh, fuck me.
Did you feel that animosity, hatred, I'm not sure what word to use, in the system? Did you feel that, or was it just like, you're there, you're going to do some time and that's it? Or was it, because let's just put it this way, if you're in the British system, you know, you're just cracking on, you're doing your bird, you know, ex-military, so probably, I'd imagine, reasonably respected in there. You understand that you can play the game and you can win the game in prison to a degree, make your life easier.
Yes.
I'm guessing it's not like that over there in terms of what you can do with, I'll be a good lad and I'll get on through this type thing.
Well, first and foremost is keep your head above water. Like, don't try and show weakness, but that will come as the days go by, months, etc. But you don't know how long it's going to go on for, because you hear of little stories in the CP world of these things, and next minute a bit of money gets exchanged, and you think, but we're beyond that. I think now we're going to a fucking prison. We're in a prison. And then when daylight comes, we're like, what the fuck is this? Because we arrived at the prison at night time, we're like, whoa. So we're there. The next day, we've got a call, embassy's here. And you receive a letter off your family. And you're like, the embassy goes, you need to respond to them. And I'm like, what the fuck do I say? Like, you know what do I say? Oh, am I rich? That's not enough. What's my sister saying? So my sister was like, took responsibility of it all. So she like, when she wrote a letter, it's from her or it's from my mum, because my mum was still okay then. My dad, and I just responded to how it was. But most of that first initial embassy meeting was, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And the embassy were like, we don't know. And we're like, you better fucking find out. It was just the beginning of a fucking nightmare.
Are you mixing with like the general population of the prison?
No. we
Okay.
were kept away.
Okay.
And then
So, yeah.
and then the next morning, the 23 of us foreigners got moved up to Chennai, into the remand prison in Puzzle, Central Prison 2, and the 12 Indians stayed there for the duration of time till we got bail in April 2014. And during them initial 6 months, we'll be getting brought down, we'll be doing video calls. It was 2 weeks, 2 weeks. They were just delaying. And we're like, this has now become mental warfare. How to get in someone's head and destroy them from within.
See, how do you, in that situation there, with that time that's ticking by, I mean, whether I could or whether I couldn't, I'd be thinking at some point of escape.
Mm.
I would. I mean, I've got to get across. I've got to get from India, but I'll just be thinking that's the option.
I did. When I was out of prison, I did. I nearly went through it, and because I'd met an Indian girl, that's kind of what stopped me from doing that.
Is that how you met your former partner?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I met her when I was out of prison. So we've gone through prison. We've had my first Christmas. I get the good fucking fantastic fucking news that my man's just suffered a double aneurysm. I've never, because one of the guys got told at the end of the embassy meeting, can you stay behind? And then he came back to the compound and said, oh, my family's coming to see you. And then 5 days before Christmas 2013, it happened to me. So I'm like a Cheshire fucking cat on. I'm fucking so I'm going to get good news. And then Sharon from the embassy, I've never seen a woman's face just fucking change. She felt shit she had to do this because they knew what this letter says because they have to read it for security reasons. And it was me sister just saying, don't worry. And my fucking life just fucking crumbled. I've gone from a fucking paratrooper to like a fucking boy. On his mum. My mum had a double aneurysm in the hairdressers. And they had to do a family decision whether to tell me or not.
It's difficult.
And from the jailer's office where we had our meetings to our compound was like a mile away. And I came out. It was still under this time where we were still in Indian media as bad guys. We weren't even charged. We were just fucking... You know what I mean? I think, what is it in the UK prison where they can hold you on suspected terror charges?
28 days.
Without charge, can't they?
28 days, yeah.
We were, I think, 3 months or something before we got fucking charges or something.
Wow.
And I had to walk. I've got the red mist. I'm like, don't fucking dare, don't. Because
Because you're at that point where you're like, you feel like with everything that's going on, I'm ready to snap and I've got fuck all to lose.
Pull the pin type thing.
Yeah, pull the pin.
My life is in a hospital bed. Fighting for our life.
Yeah.
That's a difficult. I mean, it doesn't get any worse than that. You hear
you got to hold that
stories.
together. Yeah, you got to hold that together, ain't you?
I mean, if you're in a war zone with the British military, you're getting flew back home, aren't you? You know.
I said to the embassy, I said, look, if my mum dies, right, I want to go home. I'll sign every fucking waiver you fucking have got. Indian prison police guards escort me to the airport, pick me up. British do the same at my end. Let me bury my fucking mum if she dies. Because if not, this prison's going to go in fucking flames. They did and went away. Speaking with the high command, director of prisons, they came back and went, no. I went, you want to make sure my man doesn't die, because you will be back here before you fucking know it. I will burn this fucking prison to the ground, and I will kill every fucking Indian in my path. I will let that red mist consume me. I fucking shit you not. And I said that in such an aggressive, nasty, horrible manner in front of the embassy ladies. they knew I wasn't messing. And I'm not Mr. Tough Guy, but when you've got nothing to lose and you've been accused of everything,
and your mental health at this time is obviously in an extremely low. It's you know yeah. So you're just like a ticking time bomb, really, in that regard. And this was the news that would, if it got any worse from that point, you would snap.
Definitely. But like she fought, she had the operation, and was on the mend, and
Good.
we got bail April 2014, and we went to the hotels, and the company came and got back and hey, we'll pay for them and try and make ourselves look good, and then they decided to not pay the bill after a while and we got kicked out, and then it was back on our fucking amazing family, and then we set up GoFund accounts for our legal team. I lived on handouts from people. I can't thank enough people I will still to this day thank people's support, because without that support, I wouldn't be here today.
Crazy that, you're working for a maritime company earning arguably millions and millions, and they're not going to support you even you're getting good news, you're on bail now, but guess what? The struggles of fighting your corner for the charges and all of that's presented, and they stop supporting that.
But the police even said that to us. Why is your company not helping you? It makes you look guilty, bad dudes. And this is what the fucking police who are in that's what they were saying to us, and we're like, everyone knew.
Bewildered, really, yeah.
We are innocent.
And how long?
Even the prison didn't want us there. They knew.
How long were you in that state of limbo for then, until it was like effectively at a point of resolution?
Well, after we got bail, we were out of prison for like a year and a half, and then in July.
And you're still in it. You're still in India. You're in India for a year and a half.
And then
that in itself is a culture shock to live, right?
Oh, you know, I fucking shit you not. It's like being in a fucking zoo.
Yeah.
I was in a tuk-tuk and I went, stop, what the fuck is that? He went, Big Bird. And like, it was Indian's version of an emu just roaming the streets. I went, what the fuck is going on here, man? Get me fucking out of here. You know what I mean? Honestly,
mate, must have brought memories back of Depot.
Peak.
that was a pad wife running, not an emu, man. Running from the block. Shit, I've got to get back to me. My husband might know. Come back, yeah. No, but like, as being ex-military, I am fucking so grateful of being ex-military in that situation, because we of adversity. We built a little makeshift gym. We played fucking hangmen. We played fucking You Sunk My Battleships. We just improvised to get by the days. Like, there was a prison shop, and the little fucking thin sliced cakes. They were like, Nick, how many can you fit in your mouth before you fucking chew? I was like, let's fucking have a go. There was like 13 a fucking pack or something, and there was like, go fucking, don't chew it, you bastard, just relax. You know what I mean? And then we'll have then the rat fucking escape, come into a cell and fucking, rat beside the cat. So being ex-military helped, because you can bounce off each other and try and all that. And
are you in comms with like the para lads as well still? Are you there together?
One or two, but like I say, at the end of the day, we all come from different walks of life. We all went through a horrible, horrific, personal incident. And like, some people became friends, some people hate each other's guts, but at the end of the day, we all have something in common. We're all
shared adversity.
We all were pushed to our limits, and it did exceed a lot of people's limits, and it was horrific to see people in such a horrible mental state. And I tried my best to battle my own demons to keep me going, and rely on people's strength through letters. And I've gone through my own mental health problems on the back of this years later, because that is the effect that unfortunately I've had to endure and experience. You know, I wish.
So it's like an accumulation of many different things that's triggered poor
That's
mental health.
that word accumulated, Brian. That's because
It's like
I've obviously
building
got
blocks of
yeah.
poor things.
I've gone through. I mean, I was medically discharged, Nick, with PTSD, combat trauma, and the word that the psychiatrists use is accumulative effects. It's a common description. The cumulative effects of exposure to extreme trauma of sorts, which has a huge impact, which can result in enduring personality disorder or change, which is I don't know. I mean, are you having treatment? Are you having diagnosis, or do you have anything?
I've had talking therapy a few times, and it was last year when I had my last talking therapy, and honestly, it was fantastic. And
You think it's good? Okay, that's good. That's good.
You've got to be willing to take it and give it a go. You can't just expect them to do everything. You've got to open up, especially.
Oh yeah. It's participation. Yeah.
You've got to help him for him to help you by opening up. And honestly, how he done that to me, because it's only he looked at us, and I look back now and I think, you fucking sneaky bastard, you're good at your job. I was like fucking all over the shop, and he went, I don't know much about you. I was given this by a third party, and I didn't click on, and I just opened up, and then this.
Can I ask, Nick? Is it NHS or is it private or is
Private.
It's private? Yeah. Okay.
The first time I went through the walking with the wounded, they helped. So, like when I first had my first mental breakdown, I felt really embarrassed, and I turned to social media, and the response was fucking out of this world. I had people fucking numbers ringing us. I was like, who the fuck's this? Who's got my number?
Do you know what? It's funny you should say that. It's really funny you should say that, Nick.
People got my number and they shared it, and I fucking can't thank them enough, man, because the community needs to help people.
It's funny you should say that because I mean, Ryan, I've said to you in the past, I use social media now as a tool for me to try to integrate back into society from a distance. Because for me to be around people, to be in general society, I have a job, but I'm a driver, and that job for me very much means that I drive someone somewhere and they fuck off, and I sit in a car on my own, and it's great. It suits me down to the ground. I ain't got to talk to no one. I ain't got to integrate. Social media for me has been a tool for my mental health, which allows me to integrate and try to participate at a distance and bring myself back into this world from my military career in my own time, you know, with a minimal exposure. You could say that it's a maximum exposure in certain ways, isn't it, Ryan? You know, when you're getting 60,000 views of a certain post.
It's a strange one because, like, you try and do the same thing and you might reach an audience of 60,000 people. Well, you've just filled a football stadium there. Would you talk in the same way? Might have one or two nerves, like, you know.
Mate,
or you know,
in public, mate, I struggle in a fucking grocery aisle at fucking Tesco, mate.
So it's
I'm in bits. I'm in fucking bits.
There's something to be said.
I've done a little, and it would be great to do it again. Because
there you go.
When I was in the army, fuck me, I couldn't. I could joke on with blokes, but saying something important in front of people, fuck, I couldn't do that. Could I do that now? I'd be on fucking TV doing podcasts, and it's nice when people have said nice things. You talk from the heart. I can put a more professional thing, but I would rather just be myself, and tell it from the heart, so people can really understand the nature of what I went through. And when people say, or to read my book, I say to them, if you've ever listened to my voice on a podcast, that's how you read my book. And that's what some people have said to me who obviously know me, who've read my book. They've gone, I read your book and I could hear your voice now. And it's such an emotional roller coaster, you know, and to receive emails, messages from various people who've said, I've helped them.
Yeah, man. I get that. I get that with mine. I mean,
makes me feel proud.
I promote a lot of training to cope with mental injury. I cope a lot of get yourself in a gym, start to see some tangible results, feel good about yourself, start to see your body change, but just make something of yourself from an exercise point of view. And I get messages from lads who say, I watch your training videos, and before I started watching you, I had mental health issues. I had autism. I had bipolar. I had it all, and and times I actually wanted to take my life. They say, and since I've been watching you, what happens is sometimes when you train on your social media, I watch you when I train, or when you do your ice baths, I jump in my ice bath with you, not actually physically with me, but
yeah.
I bet you would love that. You Ooh, this is
Budgie smugglers.
now, isn't it?
do you know what? There's a few of them, isn't there? There's our friend Dave from Civvy to Commander. I've seen his
Dave Coleman,
I've seen his ice bath reels on TikTok, and he's got some questionable swimwear, isn't he?
Yeah. Royally, that's for sure.
Yeah.
There was one of them in Afghanistan, proper like tight fucking Union Jack. I thought, fucking hell, absolute essence of a fucking man.
Just cutting around that oil body and his green lid and his tight little speedos on.
That was who, mate.
Do you do any ice baths on Nick? Anything like that?
I used to book a challenge when I was in India and I couldn't find no fucking ice. It was just like pouring hot water over.
I was going to say, rumour has it Nick wears core patterned, what you call it, armbands when he jumps in.
Oh, fucking, nah, like, I've done a fucking challenge in Get Prison.
That's something else, I mean, I know just to kind of, just to summarise that in a podcast is obviously difficult. It's a lot of stuff, isn't it, to digest as it is. So I mean, your book is probably going to be a better place for people wanting to find out more about your story in general. There we go. Surviving Hell. Where can people find that, Nick?
I think you can still get it in Waterstones, but the best place to get it is Amazon.
Amazon. We'll get some links in the video as well.
Paperback and hard copy. I'm hoping to get it eventually on audio because I've had so many people who can't read, probably Royal Marines in disguise.
Yeah,
But like you get people who, people tend to listen to podcasts and listen to books nowadays than reading it. People who are like partially blind, audio is great for them. So
audio would be good. I mean, rumour has it your book's been written out of crayon anyway, hasn't it? So did you handwrite?
Yeah.
Doing that. So
and also with how many pages of it, I mean, there's quite a lot of pages there. I'm questioning how large the text is.
It's quite big. So
it's a letter a page.
No, there's no letters, mate. It's just pictures.
Pictures.
Every picture tells a story. You know what I mean.
No, but all banter aside, though, Nick, like it is really nice to speak to you, mate. Me and you spoke on the phone in the past and stuff, and we've had disagreements as well, and agreements. But that's part of
at the end of the day, you can't agree on everything.
Exactly.
Debate, agree to disagree, move on.
I think that's kind of what it's all about. You might not agree on everything, but can you stay friends at the end of it? That's the most important thing for me, And
the thing I want to do is be in horrible, heated disagreements over petty fucking things, which most of the
Nick,
petty things.
But listen, how's that usually sorted amongst people like us? It's taken outside, isn't it?
Getting the battle lines, isn't it? Yeah.
Be it paras and Marines amongst themselves.
Are you still friends? I've got to get him the next fucking 5 pints, and he's asking for the most expensive drink, the fucking dick. So, you know what I mean? Other than, like, you can't agree with everything. You just have a We'll keep it diplomatic. We'll agree to disagree. Let's move on. Right. You know, I was the most hated man in prison at one point because I fucking let my emotions get the best of me, and that started a riot in the prison hospital. And the superintendent feared because apparently the gangs that were all going to go for it. I was thinking, wait till you see the Estonian bears, they'll pick you up and chuck you through the wall, mate. You're not coming nowhere near them. Fucking honestly, you should have seen them fuckers. Fuck me. Oh,
So
man.
what's next for you, Nick? All that being done, books out. What's next? Are you is I mean, mental health is a constant. I don't want to use the word battle because it doesn't.
Mental health has become a lot better. Like, it took from me coming home 2 years for the signs, and I've got a thing. Know your own signs of your decline, and it doesn't always happen in order. It can jump a few, but listen to your friends and family. And when you're being ratty and forgetful and this and that, they're the signs. And then you start just deteriorating if you don't nip it in the bud. And I've got my mum as my gentle reminder. You know, I see her with her voice, and it's how it. If it happened in a different circumstances, I don't believe my mental health would be as it is. But I'm learning to accept it, and it's part of me now. It's not something you can go, I've overcome that. It's because any little trigger.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's with you. It's with you forever, isn't it? It's with you
And
for
I had my recent trigger
management.
on my birthday. My mum couldn't even say our son's name. And I had to hold the tears back in front of my sister and turn my head so my mum couldn't see her son upset, because the connection, she sees me upset, she's upset.
Yeah.
You know, and I had to walk, and I had to leave. And my sister was like, what's and I went, and I told her, I said I couldn't, it broke me. It broke me into a million pieces, because I think it might have been because she was a little bit tired, but nevertheless, it's a traumatic time. And when, you know, you hit rock bottom, I literally just hit. I was talking to a friend, and it was the 1st of February, the day before my dad's birthday, 2021, 22. And I was still in my shorts, dressing down. It was February. So it was fucking cold in the northeast. And I just thought, you know what? I've had enough. Don't even know. That phone call, you know, was champion. And I raided my mum's cookie jar because I was starting to fucking think. You know, lying in the bath, I was planning it.
Really?
Yeah.
I was planning it to the finer detail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I tell you what, it didn't go to plan. So even though it didn't go to plan, because A, I didn't have any petrol to drive to the beach. It was pissing down, so I didn't fancy trying to take my own life in the fucking rain. And I didn't have any money. I was literally on the bones of my arse, fucking threadbare, fucking literally sick of my life. And I couldn't even go out the way I wanted it. So I just went, fuck this. I've got the tablets. Let's go get a glass of water. And 60 of these fucking hardcore fucking tablets, so like fucking horse tablets. I can't even pronounce what they were, but I was in the hospital all day because these were fucking potent shit. They were my mum's fucking old tablets, and I took 60 of them off the bill. I even had to go and refill me glass up. And I just put Nothing Else Matters Metallica on YouTube on repeat, and I just curled in the fetal position. And I tell you what, because my sister was clicking on, and I said something in a text message, and that just went ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, she
He
knew.
was at work, and she went, Dad, get to his house now. I think he's going to do something. And I came into me, I was just in and out of consciousness. Fucking, the room was fucking spinning. I was like, oh. I thought, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to do it this way. I am not just cutting myself up because me, I'll fuck it up and I'll not die and I'll be fucking scarred now. I didn't want to write myself on the road because I would not die. I'll be a cripple, but I'll kill other people. Now I don't want that on my conscience. I just want to take me out of the game. I'm not a selfish. I'm being selfish, but I'm not being a nasty selfish where other people are getting involved. It was different thinking of doing that in prison, but that's because my mum had died, and I'm blaming these fuckers for that. But my own mental health, it's me, and. Like I say, my dad, 76-year-old at the time, 70s, early 70s, he's 79 now. And I live in an upstairs flat, and him trying to carry a lifeless fucking body downstairs and he's trying to talk to the fucking 999 at the same time. He was like, is there any tablets? And he was like, I can't even pronounce it because he's flapping like a fucking budgie now. And I'm like in proper fucking Mongo mode. But I can still kind of hear bits. And they're like, oh, it's going to be 45 minutes. And I've only seen me dad or experienced me dad's emotion twice. One, when I said I was going to Afghanistan because we went on the back of, was it the Welsh Regiment or the Welsh, where 7 of them died, including the CEO? Which was one of the biggest military incidents. We went not long after them, so that was all over the news. So my dad got a bit upset there. And him, he'll be fucking dead in 45 minutes. I'm fucking bringing him to the hospital, and I literally heard the woman says you'll not get there in time. He went, fucking watch us, fucking put the phone down. But the reason why they keep you on the phone is to keep you calm, don't you?
It's a coping mechanism as well, and to get information and stuff, and so.
And he got us into the car, and he literally put the seatbelt on, and they came screeching round. And do I regret it? No. Do I regret not having enough tablets? Yes.
Oh man.
Because that's the pain I was going through. I didn't want to be here. I couldn't deal with it. But you know what? I've learned a big fucking lesson. You're not a coward. You're a very strong-willed person to do that. But you are selfish because you don't care about nothing else and you don't care about the damage it may cause. And my sister said to me, if you had died, you would have put a bullet in Mum and Dad's head, you ungrateful little bastard.
But mental health is it clouds your judgment. I mean, that's an understatement. It clouds your judgment, and mental health, be it depression, bipolar, whether or not you're going through psychosis, through medication, or through PTSD, traumatic events, you name it. You're not speaking from compos mentis, so to speak. You're speaking and you're thinking from a brain that's poorly, that's ill, and you may or may not be able to see that at the time or ongoing, but a healthier version of you can see that is this, that, and the other, and the fact that, look, mate, you've been through the windmill, put it that way, and it's been a traumatic tours, traumatic life experience when you're coming out trying to make a bit of money, being traumatic with family, being traumatic in health and rehabilitation.
Yes.
All of those has been traumatic, but there's one thing that is common throughout all of the things that you've been speaking, is that you do seem to overcome all of those despite the negatives associated with it. So you've got to give yourself a bit more, I don't want to say credit, it's not credit, it's you've got to have a bit more confidence in the fact that you're resilient enough to adapt and overcome those negative situations. Not many people can get incarcerated into a foreign country and come out the other end of that happy. Like, I don't know, so you need to be like, yeah.
I tell you what, you're not the only person that has said that to me, and I tell you what, it's weird because my mind plays tricks on us. I should feel like, yes, I've achieved something, but it's for every hurdle that I get over, a piece of me leaves. But then it takes time to replace that I've missed, and it's always like that. With your mental health, you're always gonna go through ups and downs, and you're always striving for that balance. And it doesn't matter. You could go years with no incident, and then a trigger, and then that's it. You're back to fucking square one again. But it helps that you've got a good supportive network, good family. I'm very lucky on that.
Yeah, well, embrace it.
Network
Embrace it.
is
Make sure you. I mean, obviously you do, but you do embrace it. But embrace it fully. Embrace that family network fully for the advantages,
yeah.
and also focuses and goals. You got your book. I mean, I personally try to generate as many different missions. I'm going to call them missions, military reference, as many missions as I can. At the moment, Ryan, me and you got this mission here, this podcast. We're going to bring out our supplements. That's another mission. But for me, I didn't see my kids for 5 years because of my mental health issues. 5 years I hadn't seen my boys.
I didn't have kids.
Yeah,
I was in prison with men who had kids who did say that thing, and watching them fucking be like,
brutal,
man, But I always put myself off and thought they're worse than me. That's probably how I feel, how my mental health has deteriorated, as how it has, because I never I never try to think of myself. I always try to think of others. Even in prison, negativity spreads like a wildfire. I would try and, yes, I was like, Marmite, yeah, well, but I did, when I used to joke on and laugh on in the face of adversity, I did it for a fucking reason, to try and spread happiness, to keep the fucking guys going. And then it comes to a point when you're needing the pep talk, you're needing it, and you've got to put that brave face on, you've got to overcome every hurdle that you face, and I tell you what, it is difficult.
It is. I guess. Look, that represents life as well, though. In general, without, I mean, we haven't got all. We could talk about that all day, about life and its hurdles. But I think it's about, and I'm just conscious of time. We're going to probably wrap this up very, very quickly, gents.
Fucking dark now.
I was just about to say, your background's pitch black now.
I was like, I need to put my light on.
But to kind of finish on like a positive tone, I think we're all products of going through a very hard military regime, military training, whatever you want to call it. Very similar in nature, actually. Yeah, the end product is similar in nature. Elite of the British military is certainly the tier 2 areas of the military anyway. Parachute Regiment, Royal Marines. So we've got something very positive in common in that regard. And I find, and I've been speaking to James about this, what I find helps me through hurdles, mental health issues, whatever, and it might sound throbbing, but the core ethos, para ethos, whatever it was that got you through training is the very thing that can help get you through life if you just commit to it a little bit and accept that nothing's going to be handed on a plate. You've really got to work hard in Civvy Street. It's a constant foundation block, and you've just got to go through it all the time. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if you got anything to add on that, gents, before we kind of wrap this up. That's what I'm leaving on anyway.
Like I was saying to you, Ryan. I mean, I've got my focuses, I've got my goals. I mean, like I said, I didn't see my boys for 5 years. They've come back into my life in the past month or so. I mean,
awesome.
I've got absolutely tremendous on your own well-being.
Honestly, but there was a lot of times over the years where I'll be straight up. I've set up that hangman noose on my banister at Christmas when it's just been me in a house on my own, thinking I've got absolutely nothing. And the thing that has kept me from doing anything has always been the fact that there's two boys out there that need me one day. They were my sake.
Personal question. You
Go
don't
for
have
it.
to answer.
No.
Were you, Convers Mendes, aware that you are mentally deteriorating?
Absolutely. Yeah. I was.
Was it forced upon you, or was it your decision to say, look, I need to take a step back, kids? Or was it just fucking one of those horrible situations where
It was.
in a
I'm going to
way,
say it was. I'm going to say it was a mixture.
horrible, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
wished
Do you know what?
good.
It was a mixture. It was a mixture. I mean, I knew that I was a. I'm gonna describe it how I've always described it, quite bluntly. I was a social retard, absolute mental mess, and it wouldn't be good for my boys to see their dad in that way. So they were, my exposure to them was reduced, and recently I found out furthermore some other reasons which I won't go into why it was reduced, which I fully understand. You know, lucky for me, my boys are intelligent, they're resilient, they've got a fantastic mother who basically, you know, they're doing really well, and I'm lucky enough to get back into their life. But I've got them as a mission. I've got this podcast as a mission, Ryan. We got our supplements we're going to bring out soon. That's another mission. I've got what I do is I create little missions to try, so I've constantly got that focus, and without those focuses, the focuses are my medication. You know, the missions and the taskings and you know the
win. Every day is a win.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
But with regards, I remember when I identified my mental health issues, firstly back in 2015, and then in 2019, I knew something was wrong. So there was something. I actually had to go to my superiors in the military, and I had to hold my hands up. I remember the day I did it, and I went, I can't tell you what's wrong, but something's fucking wrong, and I need help. And I went on a year-long pathway to medical discharge with and mate, coming out 5 years in Civvy Street, it's the biggest and hardest mission I've ever carried out. Civvy Street, it is unrelenting. It is unrelenting, and it's tough. It's tough. But you know, mate, we're resilient soldiers at the end of the day, you know, and we make the best of it.
Like me, what my recent talking therapist said to me, he says towards the end of it, he went, you know what is happening with you, Nick? I went, I'm learning more, but elaborate please. He says, you're going through a new version of yourself, and it's hard to let go. And that's why you feel like you're tripping up in life, because you're not used to what's happening, because this new version of you it's not what you're used to, and it's taken a long time to get used to. You become more emotional and like that, but you need to learn to control everything, from your aggression to your crying your eyes out. There's no crocodile tears with me. Everything that I've gone through, fuck me. If I talk about it, it feels like yesterday. That's the reality. And as days go by, weeks, months, years, it does get easier, but it realises it's still a monumental task, and you'll never heal. You've just got to be that better version than the previous one. And you've got to take the help. You've got to put that pride, that fucking pride that we have, being a paratrooper, being a Royal Marine, you've got to put that pride to one side and take the help. Because I tell you what.
Oh yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It was tough accepting the help.
Yeah. Hey guys, I think we'll leave it on that note. Nick, always a pleasure to speak to you, mate. I'm sure it'll not be the last time we get you on here. If you want to come on, mate, more than welcome.
I'll make sure I've got a fucking light bulb that works in that.
Hey, mate.
I was like, oh fuck me, paras, and then like, I'm away.